welcome. My name is Angelina and today we are going to be ranking K-pop comebacks from the month of January and maybe a little bit from December because I have no concept of time. From the best K-pop songs to the worst K-pop songs, so buckle up my friends because some 12-year-olds are about to get real mad. But I mean, for real, these are my own opinions, obviously, based on what I like. So to everyone who calls me super biased, it's my review based on what I like. So I can't say that objectively this is a sound that tickles my feathers. Obviously, I have my own tastes, but to say that I favor certain groups over others is completely false because I'll actually throw anyone under the bus. I have no sense of loyalty, hence why my attainment. No, we won't get into that. But before we get into this video, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have to help that good old algorithm, because I've decided to temporarily disable subscriptions until my view to subscriber count is a little bit less fishy like. So you're actually not allowed to subscribe until the situation is rectified. Okay, so for those who are new here, I'm going to be using a tier ranking system. If you've been watching these videos for the past 6 months, please feel free to skip through to wherever you would like because this video is separated into super fancy segments. So let me explain to you the tiers. At the top, we have Big Booty Bop. This was 100% plagiarized from my friend Kpop Shake. These are usually songs that are love at first sight, where you fall so deeply in love with them that you download them that you plan on listening to for the months to come, which is why obviously it's at the very top. But I want to emphasize how important these songs are. These songs are basically Song of the Year Potential, which is actually the original title of this tier. Below this, we have Cup of Milk category. Now these are songs that we casually listen to, so it doesn't quite have that Song of the Year potential because it actually lacks longevity. Moving on to second gen vibes, these are still highly regarded. However, we appreciate them without having them on my playlist. If it randomly started playing, I wouldn't necessarily skip these songs. Second gen vibes kind of unintentionally became the middle tier. I kind of want a perfect middle tier. So if you have any name suggestions for something that's just neutral, you don't really feel a certain way about it, you don't love it, you don't hate it, but you know, it's just kind of floating in the air. Next up, we have everyone's favorite tier, which is YG's Dungeon. Now this is for songs that could use a little bit of work, right? Maybe you're really vibing with certain parts, but then something like the chorus comes and fucks everything up. So these songs could have benefited from spending a little bit more time in YG's Dungeon. Maybe it needed to simmer for a little bit longer. Maybe it just was not ready to see the light of day. So these are songs that I think need fixing. Lastly, we have Not My Cup of Tea category, which is quite self-explanatory. Maybe the song is just bad in my opinion. Maybe it's a good song, I just don't vibe with it. But honestly, it doesn't mean that the song itself is objectively bad, but I do adhere to this notion, it's really fancy, that people have opinions. That's wild concept for K-pop. You know, this whole concept doesn't apply to things like human rights. I feel like you can't really budge on stuff like that. But for songs, I would say it's fair game. So without further ado, let's get into the ranking. We're gonna start off with MCND's Crush. Right off the bat, this music video definitely gave me BAP No Mercy vibes with like the sheer amount of tinfoil used. But the music video was genuinely interesting. I found they made really great use of interesting props and interesting rooms. So we had a washroom made of tinfoil and even a washing machine in space and then a tanning bed. I just thought it was really quirky and interesting. However, for the song itself, I'm definitely gonna have to put it in YG's Dungeon. And here's why. So I was vibing with, you know, the verses and the pre-chorus. It was seeming very promising, but I just felt like there was something missing in the chorus. Like, it was definitely catchy, but it was building up to something beautiful, and I just felt like we never really got there. So I think with a few tweaks, it could sound a little bit better. So I'm putting it, of course, again, in YG's Dungeon. Now let's talk about GIDLE's Hwaa. Now here's something really interesting. It's actually a song that I really love. I think it's beautiful, but I never ended up downloading it. Like, oddly enough, it's probably one of my favorite GIDLE eras, and I do plan on doing an era review. If you think that sounds interesting, let me know in the comments down below. But it's definitely a song for a specific mood, and I'm really picky on moods, which is why my playlist is very exclusive. My playlist isn't like the other playlists. My playlist has pick-me energy. And though I love this song, I just didn't feel the urge to listen to it like 5 times a day, every single day for months on end. So this is where it's really tricky because I didn't really listen to it, but I did really love it as well. So I was going to put it in second gen category because I appreciate the song, but I didn't really listen to it. However, I think we're gonna kind of meet in the middle and put it in Cup of Milk because I'm projecting within the next quarter that I will end up listening to it. Also, it's not the song that I ended up thinking was very beautiful. I also thought that the stages were beautiful, the live vocals are beautiful, the music video was very beautiful, which kind of contributes to all of this, to me loving the era as a whole rather than just the song. But yes, we're gonna tentatively put this in Cup of Milk, but at the end of the year, I promise I will give it its final ranking. So we actually have 2 Treasure songs to rank, that being My Treasure and Going Crazy. And I know Going Crazy was a pre-debut track, but they recently performed it on M Countdown, and I don't think Treasure fans are going to be mad that I'm reviewing 2 Treasure songs. No, don't talk about Treasure. This is to make up for the times that I ever so rudely forgot about Treasure despite literally following everything they do. Okay, so My Treasure is a nice song. I have to admit, structurally, it's one of their better songs in my opinion. In the past, I've definitely critiqued Treasure songs and put them in YG's Dungeon because I vibed with like the verses, but then I thought the chorus didn't match, or I vibed with the chorus and thought the verses were a little weird. But again, structurally, I felt like the song, there was really nothing bad that I had to say about it. It seemed quite cohesive compared to their other songs. However, that being said, it's definitely not a song that I would really reach for, that I really vibed with. So I would have to put this one in not my cup of tea. However, for Going Crazy, I think I'm going to have to really bump that up all the way to 2nd gen vibes. And here's why. So I do get slight Big Bang vibes from this. My friend who is a Big Bang stan actually said that My Treasure gives her incredible Big Bang vibes. And I was like, where? I actually think Going Crazy gives like the slightest Big Bang vibes. It's not anything super significant where I would mistake it for a Big Bang song. But if we want to talk about YG's new boy group not having a YG sound, I would take it back to this song. It sounds like kind of a teen crush version of My Heaven, slightly mixed with Sunset Glow. But for example, like the rapping at the beginning really reminds me of T.O.P's rapping, like just the tone of his voice. So for sure, 2nd gen vibes, this is the first time that Treasure made it out of YG's Dungeon. How fitting though. Now let's move on to Pink Fantasy and Lemon Candy. I think this is a B-side track. I remember kind of pointing out that this looked like it was filmed with an iPhone, and I'm not knocking that because it's kind of elitist to do so. But I'm pretty sure it was a B-side track or something, or there wasn't meant to be a music video, but they got a music video anyways. If you like Pink Fantasy, let me know in the comments down below. But I did notice like the lighting wasn't perfect, but like shit, neither is mine. But I appreciated that they did what they did with what they had. Like they managed to still make a cute music video under a budget. At least they have a music video, which we can't say for Saturday. So yes, this was terribly cute and it's very catchy as well. So I'm gonna put it in 2nd gen vibes. I feel like it's straight out of an early 2000s movie, like some type of teen rom-com, early 2000s movie. With obviously a cute twist to it. Moving on to Victon and What I Said. I think this is my first time reviewing Victon, and I do believe this is the first song I heard from the group. It sounded a lot like I Like It Like That, and then I heard them reference that in the lyrics, so I thought, okay, this is probably sampled. However, though I did really like the instrumental aspect of it all, I did feel like they just mixed kind of a bunch of sounds together that didn't really match super well, so it ended up sounding really messy. So in my opinion, it just didn't really flow in the most cohesive way. It just felt really busy. So I would have to put this song into YG's Dungeon because I do feel like it has potential, but I'm just not really feeling it. We need to talk about Yubin's Perfume because I went through like a whole ass roller coaster of emotions with this song. The first time I heard it, I thought it sounded terrible. It was straight into not my cup of tea. I thought it sounded bad. I thought the mixing was bad. But then I listened to it again and I thought, okay, you know, actually I kind of like the instrumental. It sounds a little bit dreamy, sounds a little bit similar to Epik's Ung Ung. It's for sure a messy song, but I wasn't going to put it in Not My Cup of Tea. I was going to put it in YG's Dungeon. I thought it could be improved because it kind of seemed like it was trying to be majestic, but it didn't quite get there. So it was a little bit dreamy, but aiming to be majestic, but it felt more grungy. Perfume. But I couldn't get it out of my head. So then I'm like, you know what? I can't put it in YG's Dungeon because I actually appreciate the rawness. I appreciate the grunge. I'm going to put it in second gen vibe. But then I ended up vibing with this song so much, and it's actually on my playlist now. I feel like it's supposed to sound raw and unfinished because it adds to this overall vibe of neediness. The song feels really needy, and I think that's very beautifully expressed through the vocals, through that rawness of the vocals, the unrefined nature of the song overall, in my opinion, finally makes sense. Whereas when I first listened to it, I was like, this is bad. So I'm actually going to put this song in Cup of Milk. I ended up really liking it. I think it's just so catchy. And actually, on that note of vocals, like the neediness of it all, it really reminds me of Susan Sarandon's rendition of Touch Me from Rocky Horror Picture Show. It gives off a similar vibe in terms of like that feeling of neediness. And on that note, Rosario by Epik is actually another song that I really wasn't vibing with that first. But then again, it's one of those songs that just kind of took a little bit of time to warm up to. Because at first glance, what I really appreciated the most from the song was definitely Tableau's rap. But I just felt like the song was a little bit uneasy. It has more of a minimalistic sound, which I wasn't vibing with at first. So I definitely have to put this song in Cup of Milk as well. I appreciated the rawness of it all. And also, like, again, Tableau's rap, I feel like was, you know, front and center, was beautiful within the song. And he says, I paved the way for everyone who is paving the way. And I just thought that was very bold. I paved the way for everyone that is paving the way. But anyways, I did really enjoy the song, so it goes into Cup of Milk. Now we have Hyuna from TVXQ, who came out with 2 songs. So his first song, Thank You, started off super intense, almost a little bit majestic. It ended up being a lot brighter than I was expecting. Thank you for this. Thank you for this. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. It of course had that like slight SM sound. I found myself not super intrigued with SM solos. I would definitely put this in Not My Cup of Tea because I didn't personally like it. I did find the chorus quite repetitive, though I have to admit his voice was really nice. My issue with Eeny Meeny though is that I didn't like the sound of the beat drop. It didn't sound pleasant to my ears. So yes, unfortunately both of his songs have to go into Not My Cup of Tea. Okay, so keeping in mind that X is a pre-release for Chungha and that she's coming out with an album that has like 100 songs on it, I'm sure there will be something that I vibe with on the album, but just for X alone, definitely Not My Cup of Tea. I did appreciate the instrumentals, they were very distinct, but just there was something with the way they mixed her voice, it just didn't sound amazing. So yes, I would put that in Not My Cup of Tea. Now we have Cherry Bullet and Love So Sweet. So I actually listened to a Very Good song thinking it was Cherry Bullet, and there was a very different ranking. It was a very confusing week, I'll have you know. First of all, I loved the music video so much. I thought it was so cute how they kind of did a continuous shot film, even though it technically wasn't. They did a lot of editing, obviously, but the feeling of a one-shot continuous film was kind of the premise of it all, and it all took place in different rooms where they would zoom in and out. As for the song itself, it definitely goes into Cup of Milk category. Kind of like Perfume, it feels like it's trying to go into this magical territory, but stops at more dreamy, a little bit more mellow, a lot more mellow than Perfume. So I find it's like a very easy listen. It's nice to listen to for sure. So yeah, Cup of, no, I keep getting this wrong. Yeah, Cup of Milk, no, that was right. Don't mind me. Let's talk about Oneus's No Diggity, which I still have the utmost urge to pronounce Oneus. So my friend absolutely trashed the song before I listened to it, so I was expecting it to be really bad. But then I went to listen to it and I was like, this is kind of good though. Like, I don't really see, I kind of understand some of the points she made. She did make mentions that this sounded a little bit like an AT song. So I guess I can kind of see that, particularly with these 2 parts. But actually I did end up really enjoying this song. The pre-chorus just turns into such a beautiful melody. But then what really gets me is kind of the chorus. I feel like it's a little bit overdone. The whole ratata, rum-pum-pum, rum-pa-pa-pa-pa-pum definitely feels very overdone, but then it kind of saves itself later on with the second part of the chorus, which I actually vibed with a lot more. So I think it can safely go into second gen vibes, because I feel like whatever elements that I would want to fix are kind of minor, right? Now let's talk about Hwaa and I Don't Miss You. So this definitely gives me retro vibes, but I'm for sure putting this in cup of milk category. I ended up really enjoying it. It's kind of on that teen crush spectrum of cute, and honestly I don't really have anything bad to say about it. Now we have Alexa, who under Alexa H has released a ballad. So this is a very different side to her. She came out with a song called Never Let You Go. And apparently Alexa H stands for Alexa Heart, which shows a more emotional side to her. And I breathe again. And you know, she's been doing this really hardcore concept since debut, this very interesting AI concept. So it was very refreshing to see this from her actually. That being said, it's like a very slow type of song, definitely very sweet, bittersweet actually. And it's not something I feel incredibly drawn to, but I also think it sounds very beautiful. So I'm going to put this in second gen vibes. She admittedly has such a sweet voice, and there's a part in the song where it goes, as far as I know. As far as I know, Lord, how can I say? And it honestly just made me feel some type of way. So yes, again, goes into second gen vibes. Now we have AB6. Now we have AB6 is Stay Young. I was very intrigued with the song because I'm kind of a sucker for songs that evoke the feeling of forever. Honestly, it was really cute. However, not my cup of tea, unfortunately. Like, that's the thing. I don't think it sounded bad at all. There's nothing that I would really fix, but would I listen to it? No. Now I have Bobby and You Mad. So this was very intense. I really still don't know where I would put this. But yeah, it definitely carries a certain level of intensity, and I actually like the sound of it. So I think it would fit into second gen vibes. Now we have Dreamcatcher with Odd Eye. So this one too, actually, I think I'm gonna have to put it in second gen vibes category. I think it's kind of one of my favorite Dreamcatcher sounds, if that makes sense. It's kind of like, you know, I hear Dreamcatcher songs and it's not that I hate them or anything. I think they sound nice. They sound like something maybe I would have liked when I was younger, but it's obviously like quite specific, right? So I hear Dreamcatcher songs and I think, you know, it does sound nice, but it's not something I would listen to. However, Odd Eye did seem more in line with something that I could see myself listening to, and I did vibe with it the most out of the Dreamcatcher songs that I have heard so far. So again, second gen vibes. Now we have Hyuna and I'm Not Cool. Honestly, is this the first song that will go into Big Booty Bop? I'm not too sure. I feel a little bit conflicted. I thought it sounded nice, but honestly nothing more than that. I wasn't even planning on downloading it. As of now, I think maybe more cup of tea, but I feel like such a connection to the song and such a connection to this era as well. You know, given how quirky she is, when she came out with Flower Shower, it was a little bit reflected within her styling, but other than that, I thought it was a little bit of an odd choice. It wasn't a bad song. I liked Flower Shower, but you know, I'm Not Cool is really where I pictured her. And then she came out with something like this and it was just spectacular. I love the instrumental. I love the way it sounds. And of course, I love the styling because it's obnoxious and it's in your face and it's really refreshing. Now, some people have said it sounds like a Teddy song, so kind of a YG song as if Teddy produced it. I can agree to the extent that it sounds like a second gen song for sure. Add a lot more auto-tune and it's basically a second gen song. But the choreography for sure takes the cake. I think it's so fast-paced, so quirky, and so fun. I I think Hyuna is really going in a direction that a lot of people are afraid to go because it's not the most palatable. But I crave that so much because it really is reminiscent of second gen, where like they wore anything, to be honest with you. So given how iconic this era as a whole has been thus far, I think I'm gonna have to put her in Big Booty Bop. And who else is gonna make a song about how they're not cool? Like, I don't know. But it's more in the territory of like, yeah, I am cool, but I actually don't give a fuck if you think so. So yes, definitely Big Booty Bop. Moving on to Golden Child's Burn It. Now, they originally were not on my list, but a lovely individual sent me a DM to include them. It's honestly as easy as that. If you're mad that I don't include specific groups, maybe you should spend a little bit more energy spamming me like you do for K-pop voting. You better start showing your dedication. Okay, Golden Child. Didn't know what to expect. I don't think I've heard the most about Golden Child, but this music video, I have to say, an amazing music video. I'm a sucker for zombies. I love zombie movies, zombie TV shows. If it's zombies, I'm usually very interested. And among all like the zombies and like murder and all that stuff, the one part that made me like stop and think was actually when this guy had like fire in his hand. I'm like, really? That seems a little unbelievable. But genuinely, not a lot of music videos keep me super interested, but this one did. I watched all the way to the end. I was invested in this love story. And then they left us with like a cliffhanger. Like, is it his love that cured her? Ew, first of all. Love, am I right? But like, what happened? I don't get it. So I'm really intrigued. But that's not it. I actually think the song sounded really beautiful. I feel like there's gonna be so many songs in second gen vibes category, but this does go into second gen vibes category. There's a lot of elements that I do love. I feel like this part in particular, love that type of instrumental. It's my favorite. But just as a song as a whole, I appreciate it more from far. So I would put this in second gen vibes category, but I think it has potential to move up. Also, I'm really sorry to the person who sent me the DM about Golden Child, because I read the message and then I went and looked up Golden Child, and then a few days went by and now I can't find the DM. So just send me another message so I can see your original message, and thank you. But with this song, Burn It, they are 100% on my radar. I'm really excited to see what they come out with next. Moving on to IU's Celebrity. So I've mentioned in the past that I'm just not the biggest fan of solo work in general. I prefer groups. I just love the group dynamic. So for IU, I admittedly have been sleeping on her for a long time. And she's been around for a long time. Like, I've known about her I remember her from Dream High. So I know of her, but I just never really took the time to look into her music. But with Celebrity, obviously I know she has a beautiful voice. There's no way you can be in K-pop and not know about her, not know about how iconic her voice is. So this song would actually go into second gen vibes category. I didn't think I would like it, but I ended up liking it. So we have Gravity's My Turn. Oh my goodness, holy crap. So I initially thought this had like Song of the Year material. I was super intrigued. It felt very intense. It felt very badass. And I thought, okay, like this is my introduction to Cravity. I've heard their songs before, but I don't remember them. And their music video as well was just like building up to something really incredible. And then that chorus came. Vroom vroom. I audibly gasped. This goes into Not My Cup of Tea. YG's Dungeon cannot fix this. This song has so much potential, but I cannot. And you know, maybe it'll grow on me. Maybe it's one of those things where I'm not understanding the vibe, and my lack of understanding is leading me to hate it, kind of like Perfume. But it just really wasn't something that I could personally listen to. So it unfortunately goes into Not My Cup of Tea. I just don't really understand who signed off on car noises. Okay, so this group's marketing was like, let's just give them numbers. And on top of that, no, that's not it, my friends. We're also gonna give them a really hard to search for title. Their marketing team is kind of smart, but also not at the same time, because inevitably if you're searching T1419, you're gonna find it. But also, who is going to remember that? Not me. Anyways, I have beef with numbers. I'm just not good with them. So we have I can't even fucking read this right. T1419 with Asurababallta. Asurababallta. I don't even care about the title of this song. It can be as complicated as you want, but bring numbers into shit and I'm like, ah. So this song definitely goes into YG's Dungeon. Again, it's a song that I think has a lot of potential. It does give me slight second gen vibes, and I have to point out this one part that reminds me of Girls' Generation's Mr. Mister. So I did really love that part, but otherwise I think could simmer a little bit longer. However, given the boldness, I know I just went on about how I hate numbers, but I am genuinely interested in what they have to come out with next. So yes, that is it for the review part of this video. Now we're gonna move on to my playlist. So these are songs that I have been listening to for the month of January that maybe didn't come out this month or whatever the case may be. Do you guys remember when I talked a bunch of shit about Runaway by Meeny? I was like, I don't understand how he could just say ga 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 throughout a song and think that's okay. And here I am loving this song so much. The ga 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 is just honestly art. I have nothing else to say. Just like the feelings that this song evokes feels very close to my heart. Like, I don't know, it's very grungy, it's very raw. I had never heard any of his songs prior to this, and I ended up really vibing with this one. Then we have Mr. Mister by Girls' Generation. I've been on a Girls' Generation kick. Are there ever, for those of you who have been into K-pop for a long time, are there ever any groups that you kind of forgot that you stand? Like, I forgot that I stand Big Bang. Like, I know that I stand them back in the day, but I kind of forgot to what extent I really loved them. Same with Girls' Generation. Like, I know that I stand them back then, but I get into this mindset where I'm like, well, maybe I didn't love them. Maybe I just casually stand them. And then you listen to all their old songs and like, no, this is bringing up a lot of memories. So I've been on this Girls' Generation kick. I want to buy all their albums. And I just want to buy all their albums. Mr. Mister is such a beautiful song. So then we have a Taylor Swift song. This song gets me for whatever reason. It's just the epitome of bittersweet. The sound, the lyrics, everything really gets to me. Kind of like, even if it's just pretend, say you'll remember me. And it's like, oh shit, okay. Then of course we have I'm Not Cool by Hyuna. It's just back to the Girls' Generation. I have Galaxy Supernova. I generally prefer K-pop to J-pop, but when it comes to Big Bang and Girls' Generation, I feel like they make the best K-pop Japanese songs. Do you know what I mean? Then I have Dreaming of You. I feel like this doesn't match the vibe of anything. I kind of realized that my playlist doesn't have to match any vibe, whether I go for a walk, anything, going to bed, anything. The playlist can be all over the place and I'll still listen to every single song and I don't skip any songs. That's why my playlist is really picky, if that makes sense. Because if I have to skip a song, I just take it off. Like, I don't want to have to deal with that amount of stress in my life. I was recently on a Miss A kick before my Girls' Generation kick. What's the English title? I Can Live Well Without a Man. I Can Live Well Without a Man. I don't remember the English title of this. I Don't Need a Man. I also have Only You. And previously I had Bad Girl, Good Girl. I'm kind of weaning off my Miss A kicks. So I think I'm going to take these songs off. Then we have Heart Shaker by Twice and What Is Love by Twice. We're going to keep them for now. So yes, this is actually the end of the video. We've been filming for an hour and a half now. Thank you so much if you made it this far. My watch time thanks you. Even if you skipped around, I won't tell anyone this time. Don't forget, you can join my channel members by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button, where you can get a cute Kevin emoji next to your name. You can see videos earlier than anyone else and also get some exclusive videos depending on which level you are on. These are the lovely individuals who help support my channel on a monthly basis. Thank you so much for everything that you do. As for me, I'm gonna get going, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye!